Welcome back to IGN Live at E3. Now, when images of Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle were leaked, the world was treated to insane imagery that we never expected to see, like a Rabbid dressed up like Peach taking a selfie. We've got a live hands-on demo of the game, and Javier is here to walk us through the tactical combat. Okay, you put Mario and Rabbids together. My first question should have been why, but we're going to get that out of the way. We're here already. First of all, thank you so much for coming to our show.
Thank you.
Congrats on a successful E3 press conference. You had Miyamoto. The energy was high. Let's get into what we're actually seeing here, which is probably the most insane Mario game I've ever seen.
So yeah, we started to work on this project. So between Mario and the Rabbids, we had this idea of trying to surprise people, but first trying to surprise Nintendo. So yeah, it started as a prototype in 2014. And the idea was to really do something close to what we love, turn-based gaming, but at the same time adding this craziness from the Rabbids. And for us, the Rabbids are really a good template for creativity. They work well with crossovers like Rayman in the past or now today with Mario. So we said, hey, let's do it and let's see the reaction. And Mr. Miyamoto, Nintendo, they said, hey, guys, this is really surprising and we want to see the next steps. We want to see where you guys will go with this.
So you guys basically sent Miyamoto Mario fan art, and he was like, yeah, make this game. I'll help out. Whatever you guys need, go for it.
So, well, we started with a huge poster.
Yeah.
And that poster was showing a mix of art and some elements like fake screenshots. And we said, okay, this is cool. It looks cool, but maybe we should do something more. We cannot go to Japan and just show a poster, you know?
Of course.
So we worked on a prototype in parallel, and we took a few weeks. It was a crunch. And David Soliani, the creative director, has a really strong idea on saying, I know how to do this new fresh take on turn-based gaming and stuff. So let's do it. And we did that prototype. We went in Japan. We showed the poster. Then we switched to the prototype. And basically today the game is similar in terms of the concept we showed at that time. But of course, in terms of visuals, in terms of everything else, it's way newer.
And I think Nintendo fans specifically they've grown up with games that have this sort of 3/4 perspective. With Mario, I mean, Mario RPG is one of the ones that immediately comes to mind with me. I don't know if you were a fan of that game. I'm
a big
sure
fan.
You were. Advance Wars was a big strategy game that I really liked. We haven't really gotten a dedicated sequel to one of those games specifically in a while. So it's kind of cool to see Mario and strategy and this sort of top-down perspective come together again. But one thing that's really throwing me off is guns. Like, you called up Miyamoto and you're like, we're going to have Mario shoot guns. I feel like they had a whole style Bible of like what the Mario characters are not allowed to do, but now here we are. We've also got new types of warp pipes,
yeah,
which are
Rabbids pipes.
So
they eat you and they just, you know, put you out of the pipe.
What I'm saying is, like, it seems like you guys are getting away with a lot of crazy new ideas for the Mario franchise. So what was it like sort of pitching the Mario with guns specifically? How did you guys get away with that one?
So it's true that it was already in the first prototype. At first we had this huge hammer for Mario. It was an AoE weapon and we wanted to have something cool with, you know, some Bowser elements on it. And then we had those guns that look cool because we had the mix between Rabbid stuff within the gun itself. And we said, hey, it looks super cool, you know, almost like a bit of Star Wars with lasers and stuff. So we thought it was a cool idea. And when we arrived in the room and we started to present the concept, in fact, Mr. Miyamoto was really happy as well, saying, as long as it's not lethal and it doesn't look like too realistic. And we said, you know, we have the same idea. We don't want to go that way. We just want to go for, you know, tons of guns that would be just crazy and people would be like, oh, I want to that gun, you know, rocket launchers, grenade launchers,
right,
whatever we came up with, and now we have more than 250 of them in the game. So
there's 250 guns in this game?
Yeah.
So we went from Mario never having a gun to Mario now having 250 guns in his universe.
So, and it works well.
You guys are maniacs.
But then we added some, which we don't see here yet, but we added some super effects on all the guns, so you can burn the enemies or heroes. You put them in ice. You can you know, bounce them out of the zone, and we see a burn here on a globetrotter, and it works super well because basically it's all fun, you know.
Right.
And if he's burned and he touches another enemy, he's gonna be burned as well. So it's a combo, domino effect. and we loved it, and Mr. Miyamoto as well. So we went for it fully.
So there's a ton of strategy involved in terms of how you plan your attacks here, which I think with Mario games specifically, we're not exactly used to. It's actually bringing something new to the franchise in that regard. Most Mario games are, either run, jump over them, jump on them, or hit them with a fireball, right? You get a couple of other options, obviously. I'm being reductive. But here now, we've got so many different ways to sort of approach a scenario like that. Like that was just, he just straight up kicked him.
Exactly. So it's called a charge, and it's a dash that you do. So basically, one thing that we wanted to do is not to do a platformer. We wanted to avoid doing what Nintendo is doing, and it was in the mandate for the project itself. You need to surprise players with something new in terms of gameplay. So turn-based gaming was the first step, but then we thought, hey, when you move your character around like Mario we just saw, or even the enemies or all the Rabbids, what about having something action-driven as well, So during your movement phase that we see here, you can attack the enemy, dash him for some damage, even defeat the enemy here, and then continue your movement, go maybe in a pipe or do a team jump. So you can start to really stack all the options together, and as you progress into the game, Mario can do a team stomp on the head of the enemy after a team jump, or you can do a double dash, triple dash with Rabbid Peach. So yeah, we started with this, and then we just went on with the progression here.
I have to ask you about the toilet duck. What's going on with Toilet Duck?
So I'm not going to talk about the details around his neck.
Okay.
But basically, it's just Bowser neck, let's say necklace. But yeah, that's coming from the real world. We don't know why, and throughout the game we'll see why, and we'll understand how the Rabbids impacted the world of Mario because of that.
Interesting. So does this take place in the Mushroom Kingdom?
So it takes place in the Mushroom Kingdom, but it was completely broken, destroyed. Everything was falling apart, and now it's completely new. So there's nothing coming from the Mushroom Kingdom yet, aside the Peach Castle and some other surprises that we have in the game.
So I was going to ask you about Bowser, but maybe that weird toilet duck was wearing an element of Bowser?
That's the only thing I can talk about in terms of teasing.
Okay. Well, that's a good tease, though. That's a good tease.
Someone around Bowser is connected to the game in this story.
See, it's always his crew. It's always his crew. You can't trust those guys. So here we've got the weapon selection screen, and one of the things that I really want to point out about this game is that it's gorgeous. Like, it's a really good-looking game.
Thank you.
What's it been like developing for Switch?
So we started to work on the Snowdrop engine that is used for The Division. But we changed everything, of course, in terms of shaders, everything that we had to do to make it really close to the artistic direction we wanted to go for. But I would say that it was the biggest challenge as well, art and animation. We wanted to have something that reminds you Mario, but at the same time was really true to the game itself and really unique to Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. So it was a big challenge. But we're super happy because at first we wanted to see how much the Rabbids could fit with Mario, and even in terms of animation, Mario doesn't stretch like the Rabbids, for instance. So we had to find a direction in terms of animation as well that was really fitting both. And we're super happy with the result today.
Well, that's a tough call, right? Because you've got like these rules that all of these characters have. I think the Rabbids feel like they have slightly less rules. And Mario, yeah, he doesn't stretch. He grows when he has mushrooms. Like they've got their own thing going on. Now, what about this Roomba here? This rabbit Roomba, which I've been lovingly calling him here at IGN.
It's so he's called Beepo.
Beepo.
So this little guy is a fusion between AI, really intelligent and advanced AI, and a rabbit. He's the only one able to understand the Rabbids and Mario, because Mario is not speaking, of course, because when you control Mario, he doesn't speak.
Right.
He never speaks. So he's the one telling you where to go. He's also telling you basically what is happening. He's completely lost, but he's trying to figure it out with the player. So he's the one you control as well. He's also helping you in combat to move around, do your combos. So he's almost like the main character in front of the main hero, Mario.
I really like the way you're traversing this world here, because you're taking away the platforming aspect of Mario games, which is the way everybody has been getting around in Mario games for ages. But you're still finding creative ways to sort of evoke the player the ability to explore. using switches and sort of turntables and all sorts of cool little things. Are we going to see a lot more stuff like that? Oh, and wow. Okay.
Yeah, that's called a bug zone. So basically, if you find those, you have a limited time to solve the puzzle, and at the end, you could get a cool weapon that is unique.
Oh, awesome.
So we use 8-bit music here, directly from a Game Boy, and then we use all the codes that we know from Mario games, and we added this twist that is the buggy zone type of approach with all the bluish elements.
Feels very Super Mario 3D World or 3D Land had those like little mini missions in them.
So yeah, I had a lot of fun doing those.
So you're using classic sort of like NES chiptune noises.
Yeah. And so, again, when you go back to it, so it's really using the chipset, the sound chipset from the Game Boy itself. And we said, hey, we want to do this. And it worked. And of course, Nintendo validates everything that touches Nintendo itself, and they're really into the game. And every time we had this new idea coming up, like the sounds like these, they were super happy and super open to go that way as well.
Yeah, that's what I think is really special about this, is you're throwing a lot of insane new ideas at this game, at the franchise in general, but it's making a lot of familiar sounds. We've got a lot of like sort of familiar icons and topography. When I look at this game, it feels like a Mario game that has a bunch of Rabbids in it, which I think is what you wanted, right?
And that's awesome. If, we just announced the game yesterday. We were working on this game like in a cave for 3 years.
Yep.
And we wanted to see the reaction of everyone saying, hey, how does it look? Do you like it? How it's fitting? Because we love it. We wanted to see the reaction of everyone. And since yesterday, it's just going crazy because it's fitting. It works.
Yeah.
And you see those two between Mario and his friends and Rabbids working together, working well. Even the Rabbid plant.
Yeah.
It's a fusion between the two.
Yep.
And we love that character. It's a mid-boss, and it works well. And when he gets on fire, he starts to run away, and he's falling down, and all this animation over the Piranha Plant Rabbit really works well.
So you've got mid-bosses that are sort of, and main bosses that are inspired by classic Mario characters, but infused with the sort of Rabbid charm, and I'm not sure what the other word for that is.
Craziness, irreverence, or whatever, So yes, for the bosses, for other elements in the game as well, we took references into characters we loved in the Mario universe, and then we added those Rabbids to it, the DNA. But we also have unique characters in the game. Reference to the Mario universe, but as well unique. So it's really refreshing as well. So it's a discovery, but we went far into using references from different Mario games in the past.
Now, you guys have names for the Rabbid Mario fused characters. Like, what's Rabbid Peach called?
So she's just she, first of all.
Her name is she?
She's a Rabbid Peach.
Okay.
And her name is Rabbid Peach.
Her name is, okay, so I guessed it.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Luigi,
straightforward.
Rabbid Mario, Rabbid Yoshi.
That's easy. That frees you guys up.
Yeah, exactly. And it works well because people remember, those names. So she's a Rabbid Peach, and her name is Rabbid Peach.
And so that probably leads me to hope that we might see some more Rabbid-infused versions of characters that Mario fans might remember.
That's going to be a surprise.
All right.
We do have a lot of things to reveal, and there's a few surprises there.
And you guys are doing like a series of figurines for this game too, right? I've saw that they're in different scales.
Yes.
Can you talk about those a little bit?
Yeah, so at the beginning we wanted to really have something interesting in terms of approach, in terms of size as well. If you take Rabbid Mario that we have, the big version, his gun actually is a shotgun, and on the shotgun itself, you see the first level of Mario, the first one on the NES, and we went as far as having this gun as well in the game, and it works super well. So we felt, you need to have this character alive as a collectible figurine, so you can look at those details even more. So that's how we worked on the 4 heroes, 4 Rabbid heroes: Rabbid Mario, Rabbid Peach, Luigi, Rabbid Yoshi. So they're really cool.
That's awesome. And I saw that you're making them in different sizes.
Yeah. So we have small size, big size, so that we have everything at the same time. The big size is really impressive. Small size, you can collect them all and see this approach of having all the heroes in the same place. And no, it's really cool.
You can collect all the big ones too. You just need a gigantic desk.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the one we're at.
And in Paris, it's not possible.
Yes. And you're also doing cards? I saw some cards. Is that a thing?
Yeah, and that the collector's edition, you have cards as well. You have the soundtrack, because Grant Kirkhope is working on and composing the music. So we're super thrilled about that. And so yes, it's a big package in terms of the collector's edition itself.
It was incredibly cool to see Miyamoto on stage for your press conference, because it feels like it sort of like legalizes all this craziness. You know, like you have all these insane ideas, and then he's just there being like, no, this is great. I'm okay with this. This wasn't just like you guys being like, we gave him guns, and there's a toilet duck, and we're making these figures, and there's rabbits. He's like, no, go for it.
Yeah, and he wanted to be surprised even in 2014, but it was his mandate as well. If we do a game with the Rabbids, you guys need to surprise me. And not just this year, 2014, but the next years up until, release. Mm-hmm. He wanted to be surprised from the beginning. So, of course, now today, he's very happy working together to see that we really went that way. And with Davide, it really ticks in terms of vision as well as a designer. So we're super thrilled about that. And Mr. Miyamoto, we are in the industry thanks to him with Mario. At least for us and all the teams that we have working on this project, it's a very special, person, because he's behind everything that we know. And we have so many memories of those first games, Jumpman and Mario, and today to have them and those characters in the game, and adding this craziness with the Rabbids, and we can do this, and it's surprising, it's fresh, it's just amazing.
It must be completely surreal. It's awesome.
Surreal.
So now you're working with the Switch, which I love. It's my favorite handheld Nintendo's ever made by far. The Switch has a touchscreen. It's also got Joy-Cons that pop up and do motion control stuff if you need to, and pointer controls. Are you guys experimenting with any of that kind of stuff, or are you just kind of keeping it traditional with buttons and sticks?
So we don't have any motion controls, but we put the focus on the HG Rumble. Mm-hmm. Because it's interesting when you play the game and you start to feel, for example, we have a glue effect, honey effect, and you feel it. When you go in a pipe, you feel it. When you start to, you defeat an enemy and just gets out, you feel the enemy getting out of the battle zone.
So when you're walking through honey in this game and you're stuck in it, you can kind of feel it with
It's a combat element. If the enemy is shooting you with some honey and the effect is going on, you're going to be glued on the ground and you're going to feel it when you receive this honey on your face. So, and so we put a lot of efforts into the HG Rumble, and then it was all about the portable aspect versus the TV aspect. We wanted to have something exactly the same in terms of graphics, in terms of LOD, DOF, every single elements that we have, the graphics animation as well. So it's a big part of the thing that we worked on as well, and we're super happy with the results. So you can play on the go. We love it, so it looks good, and then on TV as well, it looks the same, so we're super happy about that. And
you're doing a lot of cool stuff with texture work and lighting and stuff like that I think that you wouldn't really expect from a Mario game. Mario games are always beautiful, but there's a lot of technical stuff under the hood here, right?
Yeah, so the team, of course, the team is passionate. The team love Mario and good designers, and we're happy with the concept, but we also have a lot of experts in terms of engineers, programmers, and with the engine and with the team itself, we wanted to bring something, different and unique for the game itself. So shadows, the way you see in the background, the animation affects the effects themselves. So this was specifically done with the expertise we had from the team, and those guys are coming from Rainbow Six, Splinter Cell, The Division, and it was a good melting pot just to put everything and this experience into the game for the graphics and the visuals.
That must have been heartwarming for those guys to come off of all those dangerous murder games and be like, hey, how about a rabbit that does selfies?
It's just so fresh.
Yeah.
And, it's a pause as well. And when you look at this game, I don't know, you just want to go deep into the adventure, just to look into the background. Maybe I'm going to check new stuff. And yeah, it's really different.
Well, this game looks awesome and surprising. I think we didn't know what to expect, and I think even the most hardcore Nintendo fan, including Miyamoto himself, are super happy with this. So, Javier, when can people play this game?
So it's going to be out end of August, so 29th of August.
That's awesome. And I'm seeing a bunch of different worlds here. Have you announced how many there are total?
So we have 4 worlds, revealing just a glimpse of the first one at E3 this week. But we have 4 of them throughout the game. So big worlds, and today we showed maybe 2-3 chapters within it, and we'll reveal more and more. But yeah, it's quite exciting in terms of the contrast we will have in the other worlds as well.
Well, congrats on the new game.
Thank you.
Congrats on making Miyamoto happy. Congrats on giving Mario 250 guns. You guys are crazy, and I love it. Javier, thank you so much. Stick around. IGN Live at E3 continues right after this.
Keep super low, man. Thank you.
Really cool.